Today's episode is brought to you by Forvis Mazars.
SoundCartel.
From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. Few of us have major concerns about making online purchases, particularly since the pandemic. It's too easy to find what you want, click pay, and voila! A few days later, the goods are on your doorstep. Businesses that haven't paid attention to their online presence or optimised their websites for e-commerce could be missing out on significant sales opportunities. So, what should you be doing with your business in order to leverage digital sales? For answers, Chris Ashmore turns to Tamara Oppen, Vice President of Developed English Markets at godaddy.com.au. Tamara is talking to Chris about the increase in businesses embracing the online marketplace.
I think the pandemic certainly turbocharged online spending in Australia and highlighted the importance of e-commerce for small businesses. As you know, many businesses were forced into rethinking their business models overnight and had to start trading online. But these businesses are now really seeing the benefit and reaping the rewards of moving to an online store. Last year, we actually researched about 1,000 entrepreneurs at GoDaddy and found that their online store is now driving and generating over 50% of their annual revenue, and they see this growing in the future. So I think small businesses in Australia are realising the benefit of not only selling their goods to their local community, but it really allows you to cross borders interstate and even internationally with your goods and services. We had a great example with two of our GoDaddy customers, Corinne and Roxane from Barkery Deluxe Dog Treats. You know, they started their side hustle selling healthy dog treats in markets in Buxton, Victoria. And with retail closing due to the pandemic, overnight they lost 70% of their income. Thankfully, they were able to build an online store with GoDaddy, and they're now selling their dog treats all over Australia. They've moved into a commercial kitchen, and they're now, extended their supply chain to pet stores across Australia. Building an online store is so much easier than small businesses realise. You can just set up templates and everything's drag and drop design. There's plugins. And I think for small businesses like Corinne and Roxane, they had no idea about technology. You don't need to have, coding expertise. It really is drag and drop, and within a couple of hours you can be online and trading. So that's what they did, and now have gone on. They're looking at even franchising now, so it was a great success.
Absolutely. What does all this mean for online payments then? Are some businesses still a bit old school in the way they offer payment options?
Yeah, look, I think last year there was a definite rapid rise in Australians swapping the use of traditional credit cards for digital wallets and using payment methods like Apple Pay or Google Pay. I think importantly, consumers now expect options and choice. So it's really important to understand what payment methods your customers are using and make sure that you're offering those in your shopping cart. I think a good example is the buy now, pay later payment options, which, latest forecasts show that there's close to 6 million Australians who are using this type of payment method. And it's an extremely popular payment method for 18 to 24-year-olds. So if you had a business that was selling a product or service to this demographic, you would certainly want to make sure that you have some buy now payment option, available in your cart. But the good thing is it's easy to set up. Services like Klarna or Afterpay, they're plugins to online stores, plugins to your social platforms. So it's simple to be integrated within your cart.
Well, there's hardly a business these days without a website. Being so important, do you have any tips on ensuring the website is relevant and doing what it should be doing?
Yeah, look, just like you might do an annual health checkup for yourself, it's really important that you do the same for your website. Quite often people forget to check the most basic things. So like your contact details are updated, your address is accurate, your FAQs are updated, that your social channels are linked and working. So it's really important to keep check on those things, but also look at the currency of your content on your website. Make sure that any articles or blog posts that are featured on your website are recent. I think for many consumers, alarm bells go off if they see that a site hasn't been updated for over a year. And so you really want to try and keep your content and your posts as fresh and as recent as possible. I think also where a lot of small businesses get unstuck is they often grow and scale incredibly fast and don't have time to update their website. So, we have a lot of customers that might have started on their basic hosting plan, for instance, where they were selling only 10 items and now they're selling over 2,000 and wondering why their site is slow. So it's really important that your technology also grows as your business grows as well.
There's been a lot of news in the media increasingly about hacking and cyber crime. It's not just the big players that are being hacked either. It's happening to all businesses of all sizes. What do you suggest? What can a business do to protect itself from cyber crime?
Yeah, look, cyber security is not just a concern for major companies. The website of small businesses are equally vulnerable to automated attacks. And dealing with these damages, when I speak to small businesses, they don't realize how expensive and how time-consuming and frustrating it is. And it's just so important that your business is protected. But I equally understand that small businesses don't have the time nor capacity to worry about and become experts in such things. So I think the great thing is that there's lots of reputable, trusted companies that you can partner with that will take care of your website security needs, that take care of everything so that you don't need to worry about the fact that your website isn't protected. But I think there's some really practical steps as a small business that you can actually take. So things like installing an SSL certificate. So that's where in your Google search bar, not having an SSL certificate will make your website appear as not secure in the address bar. And what that does is it alerts visitors that your website can't be trusted and may result in a decrease in website traffic, which is something that you don't want. So simple things like installing an SSL certificate on your website ensures that any data that's entered is encrypted. And that means that even if it is intercepted by a hacker, they won't be able to view it. I think there's also, basic tips like use strong passwords. I know it's a very basic thing, but it surprises me the amount of customers who still use their birth date or identifiable passwords. So making sure that you've got a strong, unique password for every online account that you have and that you're regularly updating them and changing them. Other things also is cyber criminals love to target out-of-date software because it usually has security flaws that they can exploit. So make sure that you update everything as soon as possible. So that includes your operating systems, antivirus software, any WordPress plugins if you have a WordPress site, or any other software that you use. I think also have a plan in place if your business is hacked. The plan should really detail what are the risks for your business. What would you do if, your customer data was hacked? Who do you need to call to protect yourself so that at least you've got a risk mitigation plan in place should the inevitable happen?
That was Tamara Oppen, Vice President of Developed English Markets at godaddy.com.au. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow at BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel. This episode was brought to you by Forvis Mazars. To find out more, visit forvismazars.com/au. That's FORVISMAZARS.com/au.